are you all? Hope you're all keeping well. It's a stitch with me today as promised, because the last one I was supposed to have done in the last 2 weeks I completely forgot. I've already made a very small start right before I switch the camera on, just to kind of get it going a bit, because the kit I'm working on is this one. It is the silk kit from vipcrossstitch, the sunflowers. Now, I've never worked with silk before, and I know a couple of you are interested to see how it goes, so I figured I'd get this one out and give it a go. As you can see, the threads already like to separate, which I suppose that's expected because they are extremely soft and smooth and slippery. You might hear birds and cars and stuff outside. I've got both windows wide open. The last, whoops, see what I mean? It just, so easy, you've got to be careful. The last 3 days in the UK has been so blinking warm. I think we've hit 28 where we are. I mean, we didn't hit this temperature last year until we were actually in summer. We're not even in summer yet, not officially, so it's been hard going. Me and Ellie get her papers done as fast as we can in the morning and as early as possible, just to avoid being out in the worst heat. But even then, I mean, whoops, we finish about 9 AM. And it's already warm by then. So, and it's just, you know, when it's that warm, you feel sleepy, don't you? I was meant to go into that one. Never mind. I'll go back. So these are extremely soft in your fingers. But I'm going to remain optimistic. The stitches don't sit very well. I'm not sure if that's because of the silk or just because of the way because I'm doing the sewing method. I'm not sure. Oh, see, I've got a bubble in that one now. Oh, I've pulled that one. Such a wally. I've tried to tighten it, I've ended up pulling the threads underneath. These need twisting. See, these slide off each other so easily. I mean, I suppose I kind of expected it because it's silk, but sorry guys, I'm knocking you with the thread. I mean, if I just show you like the end, they separate so easily. It's not like normal floss. I think later on I'm going to try doing it without doing the sewing method. It's hard when I'm on camera because I haven't got so much room to work with. But I'll try later off camera to see if that, sorry guys, to see if that makes it a bit tight. Actually, let me just do one. Just to see if I can do it. It's just awkward because I've got to reach my hand right round because I can't pull it forwards because of the camera. Because you're right above my lap. Ouch. So yeah, even from that I'd actually say don't do the sewing method with silks. So those last few stitches I've just done, let me finish this one and then we'll have a proper look. Just get that back to the front. So if we look, those last few stitches seem a little bit tidier than those ones, so I wouldn't recommend the sewing method with silk. As long as you've got a big enough border, which I do have, you can put it in a hoop and on a stand or something, which will make not doing the sewing method a bit easier. But It's well worth doing it just to see how it turns out. With silks, I mean. I've actually spent the last 2 days, maybe, doing, if you can hear that noise, I apologise, I have no idea what that is. Anyway, I've spent the last 2 days, it might be 3, but I'm not sure, doing my Mario piece, my most recent one. I enjoy all my cross stitches, I do, but for some reason Mario has just... It's had a lot of love the last 2 days. I've really enjoyed doing it. Whoops. Come on, there you go. So how have you guys been? Anybody else got this nice hot weather that we're having? I don't envy these people who work outdoors, like builders and landscape gardeners and stuff like that. They're out in the heat and in the thick of it all. And it's just, that's why half of them are really tanned. But, you know, when I was chatting to my dad the other day, he said, "Hey, you enjoying the sun?" I said, "I'm not. I don't go out in it if I can help it. Me and Ali get the papers done pretty early to try and avoid the worst of it." And he says, "What?" He says, "When you were younger, you were a teenager, you were out in it all the time." I said, "Well, yeah, you know, I was a kid. Outdoors was my favourite place to be." And I didn't actually mind the heat then, but I suppose you've got to bear in mind back then, late 80s, early 90s, and we didn't have the temperatures we have here. I say here, I mean like now. Not here as in location. Like, ouch, I've just whacked my finger on my phone. Sorry guys, I just gave you a wobble. But yeah, I mean the year I was born, the highest we had was 26. And we've been getting into the 30s now, so... Ouch. I've actually managed to stop stabbing myself. Although now I've said that, I've probably just jinxed it. But the other week, I don't know what was going on. It was just one stab after another. And even though it's not a sharp needle, you know, I can do that. When I'm unaware that I'm going to stab myself, it hurts and it breaks the skin. And I seem to have this unusual knack of stabbing myself in exactly the same spot multiple times. Like I said, so far I haven't done it lately. Now the only thing I've done lately is I was opening something with a staple on it. It was a bag and I had to undo the staple. And as I went to pull the staple to lift the leg, it went under my nail. Oh my goodness, did it bleed. That really hurt. And then even though I'd done it and Ellie was cautious, she did it as well, about 10 minutes later. I tell you, we're a right pair. Oh my goodness, yesterday doing her paper, she rang me because we separate now because it's quite a long walk if we do the whole round together. So instead of her having to walk the entire round, we split it in half. I go up, there's like a main road out the back of mine, but behind the houses that are behind me. And then we have one set of papers that's on this side of the main road, and then the other set of papers is on the other side of the main road. So we split them, so she stays on this side and does all the papers on this side, and I go over the other side and do them. But yesterday she rang me and she was like, I don't know what I've done. And I just, what have you done? She says, well, that's just it. I'm not even sure how I did it, because all of her papers are labelled, so you know where they go, because some addresses have like 3-4 papers in one. So the lady in the shop sorts them all out and labels them all, and then we just put them in the order that we deliver them in, and then off we trot. Well, she managed to mix up 3 different houses, right? She has done this round for over a year now. So I'm not quite sure, or is it a year? No, actually it's 6 months. The other one's been well over a year. Anyway, even 6 months, she's never made a mistake before now. But these 3 addresses, they're like right round the corner from each other. 2 of them are in the same road, so those 2 I could possibly understand. But the other one is in a completely different name road. She delivered the second one to the first one. She delivered the third one to the second one. She went to deliver the third and realised that it wasn't the right paper, so she had to go back. And as she went back, the lady at number 62 caught her and says, this isn't my paper. She said, yeah, I've just realised. She says, what do you have? And she said, a Sun and a Shropshire Star. So she goes, I haven't got a Sun, because that was at number 1 round the corner. So she had to switch up the papers, and then because the one at number 1 is an elderly gentleman and he finds it hard to get up and come to the door, we had to leave his till last, give number 62 somebody else's. Then when we'd finished, we came back down to number 1. I rang his doorbell, and then I opened his outside door because I know he leaves it open. And when I did, the inside door was open, so I shouted hello. He said, hello, come on in. Which, it's a bit risky really for his age. But I went in and I apologised. You know, I think we've delivered you the wrong paper. I said we, it wasn't even my fault. But he had a look. He says, yeah, you did. So I switched up the paper to the one he should have had. And then we had to take that one off him all the way back up to somebody else that we'd taken it off. I tell you, I don't know what was going on with her yesterday. But we sorted it out. It was all good in the end. And then as she's doing them today, she was on the phone to me and she's like, I've been checking them all. I haven't made a mistake. We laugh about it, but I tell you what, it was so warm yesterday to have to go out, you know, to come all the way back to correct the one, to go all halfway back up to deliver the one that she'd taken and given to somebody else. Honestly, just, it's not the weather to make mistakes like that. I can tell you, it is so warm. It's that warm, right? I wear a jacket wherever I go. No matter where I go, I wear a jacket. Just because I'm not exactly a small person and I'm conscious of the way I look. You know, so I always wear a jacket. And the last 2 days, it has been that warm. I couldn't take a jacket. I just couldn't take a jacket. Even before I left the house, I was sweating. When I got out of bed, I was sweating. Oh my gosh, it was so warm. I mean, we've all got fans, these big floor stand fans, but I don't know about anywhere else, but here in the UK, gas and electric bills, I don't know where they expect people to find the money from. I honestly don't. So yeah, it's not like we can have them running. Because I used to have mine running all night in the summer. and I just can't afford to do that anymore. And my front room in an afternoon is a sun trap. The sun comes up. This is the back of our house, the front room. The sun comes up over the front of the house, and then it starts filling the garden first thing in the morning, but it doesn't reach the house, the back of the house exactly until sort of 11. Oh no, it's 11:15 now. It hasn't quite reached, but in summer it will by 11, half 10. But it reaches probably about dinner time, the house, and that's when the front room really starts to warm up, and then it's there then until it disappears behind our eucalyptus trees. We put them in a good position, I tell you, for the sun. But it doesn't reach there till, I've just stabbed myself, 7 o'clock. So my front room is so warm in an afternoon. I mean, I even shut the blinds just to try and prevent the heat a bit, but it doesn't stop it that much. It's a nightmare. Us Brits, you know, we're never happy. We moan when it's cold, we moan when it's too hot. We moan when it rains a lot. Ellie got soaked this morning. She wanted to go down Aldi because she wanted to get herself a bottle of pop. So we just said, I'll bring back a bottle of lemonade for us, like the kids drink it as well anyway. Halfway home, which I knew she probably would anyway because of her knee, she had to stop. And there's this a fish and chip shop down the bottom, and they've got I don't know, a 2-foot brick wall going around it, and if she's going to stop, she'll stop there because she can sit down on that wall. Well, she put this bottle of lemonade on the wall, but as she moved her hand away, knocked it off. Apparently it fell off the wall, split, and sprayed all up Ellie's back. So she was soaking wet. We no longer had a bottle of lemonade, so she's got to come past the co-op on her way up, so we asked her to call in there and grab one of theirs instead. Honestly. Kids. So it's looking a lot tidier. I hope you can see what I was working on, because I wasn't looking at the camera. But you can see the difference between those few stitches across the top and these down here. Never do the sewing method with silks. It's so much tidier if you just work it back and front. The only thing I'm not keen on, let me just show you. Look at the ends of that now. They've gone a little fuzzy. That's probably the in and the out rubbing on the fabric, isn't it? Ow. If you heard that crack, that was my shoulder. All my joints crack, so. I'm finding it's getting harder to keep it in the needle because it just wants to slide out. Come on, where are you? There you go. Oh no, I was a strand too far down. Let's pop you through. There we go. Yeah, every time I pull my threads, even though I hold the ends, it still wants to slide. I was going to do that. See, look how close that is to the end. It was down there. Every time you pull it, it just slides. So far so good. I don't think I can work on this a long time once. Maybe a thread or two, and then that'll be enough, because it's just so slippery and smooth. I could see how it would get annoying, but it looks good. I can't deny that. Very shiny. Not sure if you can see like the shine on that. My camera looks darker. Only I notice when I post it, it's like it's no longer dark. Oh dear. Where's that gone? Oh, I've got it. There's someone's hammering. Oh, we spent 2 days. Not next door to us, but the next one to them. The people who live there moved out recently. And then for 2 days, solid, they were doing the back garden to spruce it up, chopping the trees, cutting the bushes, and it just seemed like hours and hours of chainsaws and hedge trimmers and lawn mowers. Oh, sorry guys. I have no objection to them doing the garden, but when I'm sitting there for hours listening to a chainsaw, and I can't shut the windows because it's too hot. So it's just, sorry guys, it keeps sliding over, so it keeps going out of camera. And this is 11 count, so I am using 3. I don't know if I said that. Ouch. A few more days and it'll be another anniversary of my mum's passing, so that'll be 22 years. And it's just unbelievable. These years are flying by. Even Ellie said this morning, she says, I'm getting older and it seems to be just flying by. I said, that's what happens. I said, I'll tell you what my dad told me at your age. As you get older, it goes faster. But I think you spend your younger years wishing you were 13, because then that meant you were a teenager. Then you couldn't wait to be 16 and leave school. Then 17 so you could drive. Then 18 so you can drink. And then you can't wait to be 21. I don't even know what's significant about 21 anymore, but it's like you're wishing your life away. You can't wait to be all these different ages, but then when they come and they go, you just think, where's that time gone? Honestly. My dad had COVID the other week. I think that's the first time he's had it. I'm not entirely sure. But he's looking forward to his holiday now. I think he just needs the break. He's off to Zante. He's been there a few times, I think now, 2-3 times. And I think he flies out Friday. I think. I don't know, he said his taxi's coming at 3 in the morning anyway, so I'm like, you're crazy. I could awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. No. Mind you, I was awake at 4 something this morning. We left the big windows on the catch in the bedroom just because it was so blinking warm. And then at 4:40 something this morning, the neighbour's dog was out in the garden barking, and I'm like, 20 past 4, no, 20 to 5 in the morning, come on, you know. And then there's a lorry as well, because we are at the back of the shops, so they have deliveries that come in like stupid o'clock every morning, so we were awake because of the lorry too. So didn't get much sleep last night apart from the heat and then the lorry and the dog. Yeah, crazy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to me ramble. Let me just show you these stitches for the last time. So much neater on these last 4 rows than this here on the first row. So never do the sewing method with the silks, because that's the sewing method on the top row and it's kind of a mess. And this isn't, this is just going front to back, back to front. So yeah, definitely don't do the sewing method with the silks. But thank you for listening to me while I ramble on about just day-to-day life. I hope you all have a great day and a great rest of your week. Take care guys, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.